Starts.
Good morning. Today we will talk about inflammation of the nose and paranasal sinuses. Number 1, acute rhinitis. Other name is the common cold. Etiology: a virus infection which is conveyed by contact or airborne droplets, usually complicated by secondary bacterial infection. Pathology: transient ischemia of the mucosa is followed by swelling, hyperemia, and profuse secretion of clear seruminous fluid. The rhinorrhea becomes mucopurulent later due to rapid growth of resident flora of the nose, which appears to be activated by viral infection. Organisms include Streptococcus hemolyticus, Pneumococcus, Staphylococcus, Haemophilus influenzae, Bacillus friedlander, Mycobacterium catarrhalis. Pathogenic respiratory viruses include influenza viruses, picorna virus comprising Coxsackie virus, Reovirus, Ecovirus, Rhinovirus. Respiratory syncytial virus, parainfluenza virus, adenovirus. Clinical feature varies greatly. 4 stages may be distinguished. Number 1, ischemic stage. After an incubation period of 1 to 3 days, burning sensation is experienced in the nasopharynx. Nasal mucosa irritates, sneezing occurs, and patient feels chilled. Sense of smell is affected or lost. Hyperemic stage. In a few hours, profuse rhinorrhea and varying degree of nasal obstruction occurs. Pyrexia is common. A stage of secondary infection. Discharge becomes yellow or green. It also thickens due to high mucin content and will stiffen handkerchief. Number 4 is resolution occurs in 5 to 10 days. Differential diagnosis: allergic rhinitis and vasomotor rhinitis, which is spasmodic in character and absolutely apyrexial. Influenzaal rhinitis, where constitutional symptoms are much more severe. Treatment: prophylactic. Contact with unknown cases must be avoided. Vaccines for prevention have not been widely effective. Therapeutic: general treatment consists of rest and warmth. Ideally, patients should stay in bed. Analgesics: systemic decongestant, antihistamine, and vitamin C are doubtful value. Antibiotics when symptoms are severe. Local treatment: steam inhalation. Vasoconstrictor drops gives relief but temporarily. Atrophic rhinitis: a chronic inflammation of nasal mucosa in which various constituents undergo atrophy as a result of periarterial fibrosis and endarteritis of the terminal arterioles. Etiology. Exact etiology is not fully known. Besides infection, other factors such as undue patency of the nasal airway and possibly endocrine or vitamin disturbances may play a part. Two types, primary atrophic rhinitis, secondary atrophic rhinitis. Primary atrophic rhinitis or angina, possibly the sequel of rhinitis associated with an exanthema in childhood. The process may have passed through a hypertrophic stage before becoming atrophic, perhaps after a long interval. A familial variety has been described. Pathology. Degeneration of the ciliated epithelium and seromucinous glands causes the formation of thick adherent crust in the nose. These become secondarily infected with saprophytic organisms, which include the Coccobacillus of Pires. The bony structures of the turbinates atrophy and airway is widened. The sinuses may be small due to arrested pneumatization, but are often normal. Appears to be a tendency to spontaneous recovery in some cases. Clinical feature. It is bilateral and more common in females. It appears about puberty. The foul smell is not noticed by patient who is anosmic. Epistaxis may occur on separation of the crust. Sensation of obstruction is experienced despite the undue wide airway. Similar atrophic changes may be seen in the pharynx and larynx. Differential diagnosis. Crusting from the sinus suppuration is accompanied by other features of sinusitis. In secondary atrophic rhinitis, evidence of causal condition is present. Treatment. Medical treatment and surgical treatment. Medical treatment, removal of the crust done by syringing of warm isotonic saline. Glucose 25% in glycerin drops prevent adherence of fresh crust and inhibits saprophytic infection. Local or systemic antibiotics can be useful initially, as indicated by sensitivity of the organism isolated. Several measures have been used in an attempt to increase the glandular activity and blood supply of the atrophic mucosa and to narrow the airway. These includes potassium iodide therapy, endocrine preparation such as stilbestrol locally or systemically, surgical measures to reduce the caliber of the airway by submucosal insertion of grafts, Teflon paste submucosal injection, and to form a adhesion between septum and infractured lateral nasal walls. Moistening of the mucosa has been attempted by diverting extensions duct into the maxillary antrum. Young's operation. The surgical procedure involves closure of the nasal cavity affected with atrophic rhinitis by creating mucocutaneous flaps. These flaps sutured together in 2 layers. The nasal cavity kept closed for a period of 6 months each. Then examination is done. Modified Young operation. Well tolerated and with same result, in which nasal cavity is not closed completely. Secondary atrophic rhinitis, destruction of the nasal mucosa and subsequent healing are essential with fibrosis of submucosa and metaplasia of the ciliated epithelium. These changes occur as a result of deviated septum when severe, may be responsible for atrophic rhinitis in the wider nasal fossa. Syphilis, lupus, excessive operative procedure, especially of inferior turbinate. Acute sinusitis and its complications. It is usually due to extension of an infection of the nasal cavity. The sinuses may be involved singly or 2 or more may become infected. The commonest cause is an acute rhinitis, but may also follow dental infection such as appendicitis and apical abscess. Dental extraction if an oroantral fistula develops. Injury to the facial bones, nasal operations. DNS, enlarged adenoids, presence of foreign body in the nose or allergic rhinitis can also predispose to sinus infection. Bacteriology, pneumococci, streptococci, staphylococci, Haemophilus influenza and E. coli. An infection of dental origin, Bacillus dentalis or Bacillus necrodentalis may also be present. Anaerobic organisms such as bacteroids are sometimes found. Pathology. All the PNS, paranasal sinuses, are essentially bony boxes lined by respiratory epithelium, which is continuous with the epithelium of the nose through the ostium of each sinus. The essential change in sinusitis is blockage of the ostium and hence stasis of the secretions, which within the sinus becomes infected by bacteria, causing an acute inflammatory response within the mucosa, which becomes thickened and hence the ostium remains closed. The maxillary sinus are most commonly affected because ostium is high in the medial wall and drainage is not aided by gravity. Symptoms. The symptoms vary in severity and their extent depends upon degree to which ostium is blocked, upon the causal organism and upon the patient's general health. Pain. There is feeling of fullness to severe vascular type of facial pain. Pain is more severe when head is dependent or venous pressure raised by straining. Site of pain: infraorbital or teeth and gums in cases of maxillary sinus. Ethmoidal sinus: bridge of the nose between the eyes. Frontal sinus: pain in the supraorbital area. Sphenoidal sinus, which is very rare and a component of pansinusitis, can cause occipital, vertical or retroorbital pain. Nasal obstruction: unilateral or bilateral. Sense of smell: reduced or maybe unpleasant smell known as cacosmia. Clinical feature: anterior anoscopy, sign of acute inflammatory response. The inferior and middle terminates are red and swollen, and mucosa of overlying septum is similar. If the ostia are patent, pus will be seen in middle meatus, high up and anteriorly in frontal sinusitis. Lower and more posteriorly if anterior or middle ethmoid cells or maxillary sinus are affected. If the pus is running medial to the middle terminate, this indicates infection in the posterior ethmoidal or sphenoidal sinuses. Posterior anoscopy will show mucopus on the superior surface of the soft palate or dried yellow crust on the roof of the nasopharynx. There is often an associated granular pharyngitis. Radiography of the paranasal sinus is rarely indicated in acute sinusitis, as the clinical examination is sufficient. Treatment: aim of treatment: to control the bacterial infection. Secondly, establish drainage through natural ostium by reducing the mucosal swelling. Appropriate antibiotic in full dose for 7 days after culture and sensitivity. Decongestion of the inflamed mucosa is achieved by nasal drops. 0.05% oxymetazoline or 0.1% xylometazoline. Steam inhalation will increase patient comfort and add the removal of sticky secretion. Analgesics may require in initial phase. Should there be a dental cause for acute maxillary sinusitis, the dentist should be deal with the infected tooth under cover of antibiotic for acute sinusitis. Complications of acute sinusitis: orbital cellulitis and orbital abscess. Number 2, osteomyelitis. Number 3, intracranial complications such as meningitis, cavernous sinus thrombosis, brain abscess, extradural abscess and subdural abscess. Thank you.